Alexander Wang Shui, 25, spent a year convincing doctors to let him keep the bone after an operation to replace it. Both the bone and the film of the operation formed a major part of the graduation show at an art academy. Says he didn't manage to get much meat off the bone, but claims
his own leg.
He ate his hip. It had the flavor of wild sheep.
He ate the muscle off his own body.
He ate his own hip as an art thing.
How did he get his hip to eat it?
He got it from the doctors. He convinced the doctors to give him his hip.
To give him the flesh on his hip?
No, the bone and everything, like you bought a ham bone at the store.
Because
he ate it.
He ate the actual bone?
The hip had been a problem for me for over 20 years, and it was just a way of making it better again.
That's just bizarre.
He has a metal hip replacement, and he says he cooked the bone on a whim. Well, no, it wasn't a whim. It was a art. He said it can't be an art project and a whim.
Right, exactly. There was some intentionality around that. Like that was premeditated hip eating. That's kind of like the whole
yes, it was premeditated hip.
Have you heard of people that after having their child they cook up the placenta and they eat it?
Yes. You didn't do that, did you?
No,
I know you guys. It was something they talked to you about, though, wasn't it?
Well,
because you did the whole hippy dippy weatherman way of having a baby.
What are you talking about?
You sat in the bath and everything, and all special chanting and people with herbs and stuff.
No. We happened to pick a very hotel-like hospital in which to do the birth, where they pay attention to lighting and creating a really soothing experience. Not bring her in like she's having surgery. You know what I mean? Bring her in, like that Monty Python sketch. I'm sorry, ma'am, you're not qualified to deliver this baby. Only we are, us doctors who have trained to do what you've done naturally for thousands of years. No, now you totally derailed my thought. Oh, the placenta thing. No,
yeah, well,
no,
but so tell me, they did give it to you.
Oh yeah,
they did tell you. Do you still have it?
Yeah. Although when I was a kid, they wouldn't give me my appendix.
Back up. Mm-hmm. You can't just say you still have the placenta from your 3-year-old son in your freezer and not explain why. Why?
Because it was.
Are you holding on to it?
It was always going to be planted under a tree.
Why?
Why not?
Come on, this isn't just something you know what we had to do? Plant this under a tree. There's a story behind this, right?
Well, maybe you and your wife don't have conversations like that, but that's what, we thought that would be really nice. To and then it's part of that part of that tree, and that tree is part of the history.
Okay, so your child was born over 3 years ago.
Haven't you ever read The Giving Tree?
So, well, if the tree was sitting there giving out placentas, I don't know, they would have written a book about it.
We were creating the Giving Tree.
Okay, so you're creating a giving tree, which is fine. Okay, I will take that story. I will. That's completely not a problem. Mm-hmm. The problem in my head is you've had this now for over 3.5 years, and you haven't found a tree to plant it under.
Well, we've talked about that because it does take up room in the freezer. And
so every day when you put the frozen pizzas in, you got to move your son's placenta over to put your pizzas in. It
wasn't my son's; it was my wife's. And yes.
Well, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Still.
It's in one of those, plastic red bags in the freezer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's a great conversation piece when I send guests to go and get some ice out of the freezer.
I am never going to... I've had ice from your freezer. Wait a minute. There's ice in this water. Oh, my gosh.
Welcome to the Bill and Jason Show.
Oh, man.
That's Bill Herman. I'm Jason Jones.
Really the grossed out Bill Herman and the Bill and Jason Show. I cannot believe... And this is completely true. We're not making this up. This is true, right?
Hey, it's all organic.
Oh, my gosh.
100% organic.
Okay.
Promise. There's nothing artificial about it.
Okay.
Hey, I have, ever since this topic or idea came up...
Which topic?
I'm getting
the placenta topic?
No.
Because this is the first time I've had this conversation with them. It's not something we talk about all the time.
This is what we talk about. We're out of the boat.
Right.
So what'd your wife do with her placenta?
I never asked her. Now I have to go home and ask my wife. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, go ahead.
Well,
you were going to say.
I could probably help you with that conversation.
No.
You adopted your children.
That's true.
There was no placenta.
Well, of course it was placenta. It just wasn't from my
wasn't
wife.
from your wife, right?
But if my wife has the placenta from my 2 adopted children, then we're going to have a very serious conversation.
That would be kind of weird.
How is that weirder than yours?
Because it's somebody else's. At least this is ours or hers.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, new topic.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Please.
So, like, one of this actually came up when this came up as a subject when I was at the Digital World Conference or whatever. So it was Digital Media World kind of thing. It
was it was like in Beverly Hills, wasn't
in
it?
California. Really, really expensive. Like all panels. I mean, people complain about like, oh, it's so expensive to go to the DJ conference. It's like, in real industries where they charge real prices to go to real conferences, it was like $1,000 a head to go to.
Well, you were in Beverly Hills, California.
I know, but still, okay. So like $500, cut that in half when you have it in Las Vegas for a conference. You know what I mean? Like other professionals, that's what they pay to go to their conferences. And learn.
You went to it with John Young.
John Young of the Disc Jockey News.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like a Pretty Woman experience?
What kind of experience is that?
Rodeo Drive, walking into the shops.
We didn't go to
where
Rodeo
they wouldn't sell
Drive,
something to you.
It's surprisingly small. Rodeo Drive is.
Really?
Yeah, it's like about a half a block long is all. Tiny little boutiques with very few things in them.
That's not what it looked like in Pretty
Very,
Woman.
very expensive. Well, how they frame things. They can make very small things look very big, which is good
I need
for
to
some
go
actors.
there. When can I get a ticket to that place?
But that's not what I'm trying to talk about.
I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to talk about is this idea of DJing for a virtual client in a virtual environment.
So
I'm talking about like Second Life.
It's kind of like for people who don't know Second Life, that's like Sims or...
It is like Sims, only it's this entire world that the Lindens have created. There's an economy in there, and there's actually a millionaire that was made out of Second Life selling
like
real estate.
money?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a currency, but like the Bitcoin, you can trade your Lindens in for cash.
No way.
Yeah, way. Yeah. And so like you would go and DJ an event and get paid in Lindens to DJ, and then you like cash those Lindens out into real money.
So there's people actually doing this. We talked a little bit about it, but I didn't think there were actually people doing it.
Well, I've been searching for someone to talk to. So this is where my appeal to you. If you know of anyone, or if you have ever heard of anyone, or maybe you have actually done this, have actually DJ'd in a virtual setting in Second Life, we would love to talk to you about the experience.
Well, why find a guy to do it? Why don't you do it?
Well, I looked up like what it would take to DJ.
That made a really funny sound coming out of you.
Well, it was amazing, like what it would take, because it's so much more technically complicated than what we even deal with plugging in our speakers, right? I mean, basically, with our speakers, we got to know, like, okay, we got to come out of our mixer and go into the speaker and then have power, and we're ready to go,
right? For
the most part. This, you need a whole online radio station, and you need to stream, and then you got licensing considerations, and you got like just tons of stuff.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's would be involved in actually DJing at a venue, in a virtual venue, in a virtual space. Would be paid to do, I don't know, somebody's avatars get married. I know.
So you're going to do it, right?
Avatars don't actually get married. They just hook up in Second Life. It's just debauchery is what it is. Even though they've actually quarantined that activity to a specific island now, I guess.
There's
the island of debauchery. Does
it cost you money to go to? You have to get a Linden to get on there?
Well, no. According to according to the columnist that I was reading, that actually went back to, in 2010 he went back to Second Life, and in 2006 he went, and it was like bustling, and the avatars were bumping into each other, like getting around, like, hello, all these newbies were checking it out. And then 2010 it was like crickets. And part of the reason is because gambling and virtual sex is what has driven this, even though that virtual Second Life says, no, that's not true. People are just living ordinary lives. ordinary
virtual lives.
That are kind of like their real lives.
Living in a virtual world is ordinary.
Yeah. Or it can become that, I guess. So.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
Hurt my speaker.
Anyway.
Sorry, hit the microphone.
So I wanted to find out, like, what it would take, and what there's like trying to find somebody who actually performs and DJs and this sort of thing.
Right.
And I ran into this article, a long way around to get to this article.
Yeah, but
I ran into this article.
You got to set it up.
From a gal that actually owned a rock club in Second Life.
a rock and roll music club.
A rock and roll music
not like
club.
a club where we get together and talk about gemstones.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And we'll include the link in the description to the article. But she shared five traits of a good Second Life DJ, a good virtual DJ.
She actually wrote an article
Yeah.
on how to do this, because there's so many
Well,
Second
it's not
Life DJs that were bad. You had to write an article to
Apparently,
find
yeah,
the good ones.
Apparently.
All right.
So anyway, what that was really, really interesting, I thought, is that her thought about like compensation,
Okay, how to pay them?
how to pay them.
Because you actually do get paid in these lindens, and
Yeah.
these lindens you can take and you can
there's a whole
cash them in
economy
for
of-
actual
of
money.
Different services that little avatars provide other avatars and things like that, that aren't sex related,
See, I
supposedly. And
supposedly.
anyway, so her idea is that DJs should work for tips. Like
What?
come into her club and work for tips.
On her virtual club.
Now, here's the thinking, okay? The reason a club owner gets a DJ is to draw people in the place. So the expectation is you're a DJ with an audience. So you come with an audience that's gonna, I don't know, buy virtual drinks. I don't know how they make money at the club, how a club owner makes money, but or admission or whatever that is, right?
Right.
And so that they will be coming in, but from the point of view of this club owner, that you have an audience, they'll be glad to give you tips once they're there. You're providing them a space to play, as if a DJ with an audience can't just find a space to play. Like, can I rent your hall? I'm going to charge admission and make my own
Well, if
money
you're a
here.
DJ working for tips, why wouldn't you be a virtual street performer DJ with a
Right.
hat on in front of you, like you're pounding on pickle?
Exactly. You
jars.
don't really need the venue, right? So now here's where it's all backwards and where I think it gets really funny. So naturally, you have lots of followers, you're going to get lots of tips, you'll do just fine in money. The club
Sure.
owner doesn't need to pay you. They'll make money doing what they're doing, and they don't need to pay you because you drew all these people into the club. Okay, confused.
Okay.
If you play your set,
Yeah.
nobody comes,
Yeah.
then the owner should pay you
If nobody's there to hear it,
for your time. Because, I mean, you came, you tried, you did your thing.
a pity payment.
Like a sympathy payment.
You poor thing.
You tried
Aren't you
to
sweet?
to
Here's a
perform and have
dollar.
an audience. So if you rock and you bring in tons of
Little
people and
something
tons
for
of
your
money in the
time.
club, you should make your own money. Figure out how to make your own money. But if you blow,
Apparently, that
Then-
would be helpful if you were in Second Life.
then it's like, well, we should pay you because you did spend the time to stand there and pick some songs.
Now, I wonder if she wrote this article because you'd get a lot of people to go, "What the hell is wrong with you writing an article like that?" Or if is it like
No.
is
There
the
was-
Second Life for these people kind of like
there were
Bizarro
4
World?
other traits. This is a very serious article.
This is but
This wasn't a joke.
Okay, so if it isn't a joke, is Second Life kind of like living in Bizarro World? Like
Oh,
everything is
like,
opposite?
Is she attempting to be opposite? No, it's just another reality. It's a virtual reality where you are an avatar, where you never gain weight and you always look good and always look young and you never age.
So what she's saying is this
and
the
you
way it
never
ought to
die.
be
Your
in the
avatar just
regular
stops
people.
functioning. What's that?
And it's what she's saying is if she in the regular world where she might own a club in like real person world,
She is talking about
only in Second Life.
in a traits of a good Second Life DJ. But the thing is, obviously, her point of view from the real world informs
Right.
her view inside of. If she was a club owner, I think she would think this way. If she was a club owner in the in
I think
real
if she
life.
was a club owner in real life, she probably would go out of damn business.
Yeah, you would think, or she wouldn't have any DJs working for her.
And I
hope.
Hopefully, I'm not throwing a curveball at you because I'm sure this is the part of the article you wanted to talk about. Well, but what were the other traits? Do you remember?
The other traits.
This
I
was a
don't
curveball,
have at
wasn't
my-
it?
Yeah, that was a curveball.
Was there one that you remember off the top of your head? Like, be sure you bring your records, your virtual records, and have your virtual needle on the record and a needle
Here.
on the record and a needle on the record.
That's a good
and
song.
the drum beat goes like this.
All right, pulling up the link.
Which, by the way, was never really a drum beat to go la 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 la.
Some of the other tips are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
that your DJ should be a fan of the music your club specializes in.
Yeah, well, duh.
So, don't go in and
Don't go
like,
into a country club and go,
rock
hey,
club.
here's something you guys are going to, I know you love, but you're a bunch of jerks because this sucks.
I'm going to play hip hop for you.
Because you guys are a bunch of jerks and you don't know the first thing about it. But here's some of that country music you hate.
Here's some good music. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, you can't. That would probably be good advice in the real world, too.
That the DJ should be friendly, regardless of whether they talk on the mic or not.
Okay, so that is a good
So when
piece of
someone
advice.
comes up to request a song, you don't want them to say, "Get out of here."
Well, I think it's really funny that she would have to write that down because she's probably had a DJ in her rock club that was people came up and asked for a song. Shut up!
Leave me
You're
alone."
stupid and your music is stupid and I think you hope you die to go have some virtual sex on Virtual Sex Island.
I'm trying to win a Tetris.
Right?
The DJ should not expect it to be waited on hand and foot.
Oh,
You
yeah.
are not a star.
So I can't stand there waiting for you to bring me a virtual drink. I got to go make my own virtual
You're gonna
drink.
Make your own virtual drink, or
figure
bring
out
your
what
own
the-
virtual six pack.
Work on my own O's and ones to make my own little virtual cocktail.
Right. I'm sure you could buy some with some Lindens.
That's true. That's true.
The DJ, and finally, the DJ's not a drama queen,
Oh, that's not true. What do you mean? Not a drama queen.
which obviously
Back off. I know what I'm leaving. I'm leaving now.
she's never heard of Snickers.
She's never heard of
Then,
Snickers.
well, there's obviously no virtual Snickers.
No, that's not right.
So, as if there were, then the drama queen fixed.
You like those commercials, don't you?
I do.
You really do.
I like making obscure references even more.
So now that begs my question now, and I brought this
Please,
up earlier,
question,
but
please.
why don't you do this? I think this would be a great test. Work on this over the next whatever long it takes for you to DJ your first gig in virtual life place. What is this place called again? Second Life. Okay, you need to get in there and you need a DJ show.
Thanks for giving me a direction in life, Bill. I'm not busy enough. I don't have anything to do. I should do that.
Well, do you think
We
anybody
we need to find someone who is doing this or has done this.
or is willing to go and make it happen for themselves? Find one of these
or somebody
DJs
who's willing
out
to
there.
take it on.
Right.
We'll follow the story of how you're doing it. Like you figure it out. Like what's your first steps,
Right.
and then how's it going now,
and then we
what
can
happened.
talk about his first gig, and everybody can go to Second Life and watch his first gig.
We
and
can all get avatars and show up.
We can wait on him hand and foot. We can treat him like a diva.
He could be a drama
He
queen.
could be mean to us and disprove all of this stuff.
It'll be a beautiful thing.
I love it.
And then we got to find her rock club because that's where we got to do it in. This is going to be awesome.
Oh my gosh. I think this is a good idea. So if you wanted to take this on, then I think you need to reach out to us. Bill at BillandJasonShow.com or Jason at BillandJasonShow.com. Or talk to us in the comments section of the video you're watching or email us.
In
or
real
whatever.
life, though, not in Second Life.
Yeah, we're not in Second Life. Even though if you were going to do this, if somebody actually took us on, we'd have to get into Second Life to be able to watch him do it, so we could record stuff and make sure. Cause
That's right. You just make
we'd
an
have to see it.
avatar. You can
Yeah.
make yourself as beautiful as you want to be in Second
Really?
Life. Yeah.
You think I need to be more beautiful than this? Thank you, man.
You're
love you.
welcome.
I think we should take a break. But before we take a break, I want to. There's something I want to talk about after we get back from the break. About have you heard of DJ Steve Aoki?
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay, Steve.
Yeah, he's played all over the place, like flown all over the place. He plays like everywhere. It's
Right. And he's a national one of the highest paid disc jockeys in the world. He lives in Las Vegas, and you know his name is Steve
Aoki.
And
What?
it's not. You're not gonna get this on a plate with pasta sauce. It's not a gnocchi.
Oh,
it's
Nokia.
It's Aoki or
Aoki.
Aoki.
Karaoke. Aoki.
Anyway, we're going to talk about Steve in a minute when we get back from our break. You've been listening to The Bill and Jason Show. Okay, nice pause.
That was beautiful.
I like it when we go like that. Do I have to do a commercial this time? See,
you should do. You should, since you're already wearing the shirt, you should do a commercial.
one of our sponsors. Well, Electro Voice. If you don't have Electro Voice equipment, what's wrong with you? First of all, let me just say I'm going to be the DJ. I'm going to be the bad Second Life DJ who's going to be angry with you for not taking advantage of Electro Voice's unbelievable equipment. Still the finest in the industry. Many speaker companies use their parts in their stuff. That's patents. How good they are. Their patents are being used for years, okay? We use Electro Voice microphones, as you can see in our studio. We have Electro Voice equipment. All of the best stuff is always being redesigned and recreated right there in Electro Voice, and everyone is following these guys. And if you don't believe us, come and be a part of the entertainment experience, and you can get a tour of the R&D department right there in Electro Voice. It'll blow your mind all by itself.
And you could see all the secrets.
Right. And the first time I knew that Electro Voice was the best speaker industry in the world is the day I stood there in the Electro Voice headquarters, and they played their speakers up against other people's speakers right there, side by side. And it was just so apparent. It was almost embarrassing. In fact, it was embarrassing for those other companies.
Bill was embarrassed.
If you've not used Electro Voice, consider it. If you do use Electro Voice, tell everybody about it. And email the guys in Electro Voice and tell them how awesome we are for telling you how awesome it is. Okay? Trust me,
stop,
even if they weren't
infomercial.
Sponsors, we would talk about them all the time because that's how great they are.
Yep.
So anyway.
We like them.
Yeah.
They sound good.
My commercial was
Listen to this show on a pair of Electro Voice speakers.
Darn it.
You'll hear the difference.
You really will.
I
sound a whole lot better on Electro Voice speakers.
Like Pavarotti gets like blushes and gets jealous after hearing our voices on Electro Voice
embarrassing.
Speakers. So anyway.
So you saw the story I'm talking about, right? With Steve Aoki. He's a touring disc jockey. He's been doing it for years.
But not
Club
any longer.
jock. No, he still tours. It's just that right now he is also a resident at the MGM, and I forget the name of the club in the MGM. It's like a 5-story Hakansaki or Hasaki, or I'm messing that up, but
exactly.
He's the resident DJ there, and he's taken it on as a lot of national touring DJs have, because Las Vegas has found out that these high caliber, talented DJs who put together not just great mixes but actual shows,
the big show,
are drawing in huge numbers into their casinos, and not just the casinos but just in the club themselves. The club at the MGM, I think they boast $20 million in sales just 1 year.
No, I think the news story said they made 200
million.
The clubs with these high profile DJs have pulled in $200 million for the year.
Right, just because these guys are pulling in the kind of customers that are bringing in the show, and they're bringing in the people who want to participate,
experience it.
Right, with some serious money. So it's been a big deal. But anyway, there was this story on Bloomberg News, and then they talked about how this has happened, and they featured Steve and talked about the kind of shows he puts on. Did you know, by the way, I didn't know until I saw this story, that one of the things that he's known for is not just his beautiful mixes and his great show, but for throwing cake.
Yeah, getting cake.
I got cake.
Like cake, like the cake you get at a big sheet cake at your birthday party. He'll pick it up and throw it into the audience, and getting like smashed with cake from Steve Aoki is like a big deal.
Well, if it was buttercream.
Well, I don't think it matters. He has like 9 to 10 cakes he does at every show. He just tosses them into the audience.
I know, it's really kind of funny and nutty, isn't it?
It's like a Gallagher piece. Is what it is,
right? That'll be the next elevation. Is like split, but then he'd be ripping off Gallagher, or that, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I think he ought to bring Gallagher in. He throws some cake and has Gallagher smash some watermelons.
I think what he should do is put that cake on a giant turntable and then crank it up really fast, and then have it spin out.
How do you know he doesn't? We haven't seen his show yet.
Well, if he does, we'll know where he got the idea.
Oh, it's really awesome. But it was really the whole thing was really interesting, and as odd as that was. They get back to the end of the news story, and they go back to the commentators to talk about the story, because they do the story and then they go back to the offices, the studio offices of Bloomberg Financial, and you've got the.
Well, let's just play the reaction.
Okay,
let's play the reaction, because she's gonna talk about, like, because this is interesting too, that now that he has this level of fame,
right,
that he's got a whole list of other ventures that he's kind of building around the brand of who he is.
Because he has a brand, and why wouldn't he?
Because he's reached a point where he is a brand, and so if you're going to like have really cash in on that,
Right.
it's got to be more than just you, what you're doing and how you're performing and playing, because that could fade, that could stop, it could end in a couple of years. You know what I mean? That happens to people.
Or the next newest DJ comes up and he's throwing watermelons instead of cake.
And everybody's like, watermelon's so much better than cake, because they're like really conscious about how they look and
Right.
like what they're eating and stuff, and they want to eat something organic.
Right.
It could happen.
It really, yeah, there you go. Organic Steve Aoki,
Exactly. Let's take a look.
which now it could be Enoki.
They're making a ton of cash. Look, we recently quoted Steve Wynn in a Bloomberg Business Week article that he said that he pays his DJs $400,000 a night. So you figure these guys probably play twice a month. If you average that out over the year, you're talking about $10 million just in Vegas. For Steve Aoki, that is not the only thing he's got going on. He's got that residency in Ibiza that we talked about. He also is trying to sell out Madison Square Garden in August. That is a huge solo show for him. So he's got several revenue streams, not to mention the fact that he also has a marketing arm that has a fashion label. He sells headphones. He co-markets wireless speakers. So we're talking about a brand that goes across several businesses.
Just to press play.
Well, there's more to that.
There's entertaining.
The bass button.
It's not just because I'm a fan of the music.
What?
Well, first of all,
Wait a minute.
obviously
did he
not
listen?
listening.
No, he wasn't listening at all. Oh my gosh!
Well, even her reaction is like, "What?
Were you paying attention?
Were you paying attention to like everything that he talked? Were you hearing the same story I
All
was?
that just for push and play.
Yeah, I almost wish that she would have said, kind of like you talk,
Yeah, what a moron!
like you just read a script all day.
It
Which
really-
actually, that is all he does.
Well, it does speak to how ingrained that idea of what disc jockeys do is. Not only is it's so ingrained that he could sit there and listen to a 5-minute story, listen to the lady standing right next to him, recap it all, and then he still says the first dumbass thing that comes into his head. All that just for push and play.
Yeah,
And I would be willing. I'd be willing to bet somebody actually said it to him in his ear.
yeah.
And say this when she's finished.
He probably went to the Ryan Seacrest School of Commentary. Nobody does
The king of
awkward
the
like
awkward.
Ryan Seacrest. Actually, he's
man.
like he's definitely protege, because like that wasn't nearly as awkward as it could have been.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was, yeah.
If
What
it
can
would have
you
been
do?
up there, he would have said like, "So what color underwear are you wearing?" It's like, what? What does that have to do with the story? Nothing. I was just wondering. Moving on.
He is, he is just really odd. I'm surprised that kind of got past so many people, that more people didn't mention that last little bit, because that story gets out and DJs, they hear it, they see that stuff, and it was just
Oh,
a
you
little
mean
thing
his-
at the end of
his-
it that
his reaction?
that little reaction at the end of it really just speaks to the thing that we are always fighting about, or fighting against rather, is that people really believe that's what we do. So many people do just believe that. So we're just standing back there and being, DJ Da Vinci.
Well, but the thing is, that it's like obviously there's those that are making millions doing what they're doing, creating experiences and all that. I mean, it's not to be stopped. People can have whatever opinion they want. Usually it's those that a really good example.
Yeah.
A really good example
Yeah.
of why this is like, oof, we can poo-poo this really.
Sure.
And dork knobs like this guy. My wife was out with my niece, and they were talking or whatever, and there were some other people that were teasing her about, because she's really, really tall. She's like almost 6 foot tall, and she's 14.
Your wife is only 14 years old and 6 feet tall?
No, my niece is.
Okay, never mind.
And other girls were teasing her about it. And my wife's like, "Well, you know why they do that, don't you? Because they're jealous.
Yeah.
They're totally jealous. That's
Yeah.
why they're being negative about it."
Right.
Well, it's the same kind of thing. It's like people who have like no concept, no skill, or whatever. They're going to be like, "Oh, whatever," because they're jealous. So this dork knob, well,
He's
he
jealous
wishes
of
that he
Steve.
wasn't sitting there with a suit on, choking his neck. He wishes he was up there on stage, throwing cake on people, having them be all excited about him and wanting to throw their bras at him.
That,
I don't know. I don't
that
know
would
if that
actually
happens,
make a
but-
pretty good Saturday Night Live sketches. Have a guy doing the news and throwing cake and getting bras thrown at him. I think that would be awesome.
While he's reading the news.
Brian
Yeah, like,
Williams would probably
"Woo!"
do that.
Yeah, like where people are cheering him on, like, "Yeah, more news, more news, more credibility."
news, drop the beat on that story about the serial killer.
We caught him. That's a good place to stop.
Oh no! Wait! Before you go,
no, it's not.
It's
not a
I
good
want to
place
stop. I want to stop. But I have to tell you the story.
Oh, okay.
I have to. I know it has nothing to do with DJs.
This is the extended version.
This is the it's not extended. We're still shy of 3 minutes. And,
well, it's
and
the
you know
extended version of me saying we're going to stop.
We like talking about we talk about what we talk about. But one of the things we talked about in our old shows sometimes were these crazy stories we would find online about these stupid people that got caught doing something that they weren't supposed to do. Right. So I found this story.
Don't rush. We have time. Like I said,
I'm just so excited. It's such a good story.
Okay, I can't wait.
Okay, this guy, I don't even know if I have his name, and I wish I did because, no, his name is Hutton. I do have his name.
Hutton?
His name is Hutton. His last name is Lonnie Jackson Hutton. 49 years old. 9:30 p.m. was in a bar in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and the police arrested him for trying to have intercourse in a bar with an ATM machine.
Ooh.
Talking about your dirty money.
No kidding.
So he pulled down his
Nice
pants
pun.
and his underwear. He exposed himself and then attempted to have his way with the Borough Bar and Grill's cash machine. And then, apparently he finished and then began to walk around nude in the bar, thrusting his hips into the air as if to say, bring on more cash.
Machines. That's just...
He
was on something.
Police
He's
were
like
called?
that guy on the German version of Air Force One that went all nutty and tore it all
But
apart.
this isn't German. This is the guy in Tennessee. They got
yeah.
him. They pulled him outside, and then they calmed him down, and they sat him down at an outdoor picnic table while they went to figure out what happened. And that's when things got weirder.
Oh, weirder yet at the picnic table.
Per the
'Cause he
report, Hutton then
fell in love
took
with
his
the picnic
pants
table.
off again and engaged in intercourse with the top of the wooden picnic table. Apparently, there were some spots where he could do that.
Oh my god!
When it was all done, they only charged him with public intoxication.
That's amazing.
Which apparently means he didn't do as well as he thought.
I can't unimagine that now.
No,
Thank you
this
very
is
much,
this
Bill.
is the get that out of your head before the end of the week part of our show.
I knew there was a reason that I didn't want to continue the show.
I love this story though. Come on,
That's so.
So if you get a
awful.
chance to if you could go see him online, his name is Lonnie Jackson Hutton. They don't have pictures or video, but there's a lovely photograph of
Somebody
a
out
man
there does,
who
probably.
could only have a picnic table or an ATM machine love him. So if you haven't liked us on Facebook, you probably won't now after that story. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, be sure to do that. If you haven't gone to the Bill and Jason Show or listened to us on Android or iTunes or any of that
we're
stuff,
portable
you do that.
in audio format at thebillandjasonshow.com. We're on video at djntv.com.
Yep.
And please, on YouTube, leave your comments below or go to the show on YouTube and leave your comments. We want to know what you think. And if we like what we see, we'll contact you and maybe have you on the show. That might be really
Right,
fun.
and honestly,
As
the
we're
more
threatening to have
interesting,
guests on the show.
the more interesting the comment, the more apparently you'll probably be on. Because it's really nice that you're saying nice things, but if you hate our show, that's even better.
Yeah, let's encourage the hate.
Right.
Yeah, there's not enough
Bring
hate
on
in
the
world. Now that's a good place to end the show. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.